Tony Forbes opened up on forgiveness, grief, and protecting AKA's legacy during a heartfelt conversation on the SMWX podcast. Tony Forbes, the father of the late multi award winning rapper Kenan aka Forbes, spoke candidly about forgiveness, grief, and the enduring legacy of his son. Nearly 3 years after AKA and his close friend Dibelo Tips Motswane were gunned down outside Wish restaurant on Durban's Florida Road in February 2023, Tony Forbes says he has found peace. Even with those accused of taking his son's life, 7 men have been charged with double murder and their trial is scheduled for June 2026. He said, "I have forgiven those people. I had not forgiven them before I knew who they were, but now that I know, I have. Still, I would like to see justice. I need to see justice." Forbes explained that forgiveness freed him from being consumed by anger and said, "I haven't spent the last 2 or 3 years angry. If I had, that's all I would have done and it would have consumed me." He commended the police and prosecutors for their efforts, saying he felt positive about the future and hopeful that the country could learn from his son's tragedy, and said, "I feel we are on the right path. The police and prosecution have done a tremendous job. I have huge respect for them. I just hope we tackle crime in a way that what happened to my son doesn't happen to other people's children." In a deeply recounting, Forbes described the night he learned his son had been shot and said, "I went to sleep around 9 p.m. and woke up after midnight to someone calling my name through the gate. It was Kenan's cousin, Taylor, and her boyfriend. She handed me the phone and said, 'My dad wants to tell you something.'" On the other end of the line was Trevor, a family member who delivered the news no parent should ever hear, and said, "Tony, I've got bad news. Kenan's been shot. I remember wanting to ask, is he alive? But Trevor just said it was fatal. It didn't register. I just sat down on the steps by the gate, confused. There were no tears, just shock." Later that night, he spoke to AKA's mother, Lynn Forbes, and their son, Stefan, and said, "We were all silent for a few minutes. There were no words." In the early hours of that morning, Forbes says he had a profound experience while showering. He said, "It was around 3 a.m. I felt a rush of air. It was a windstill night. I instinctively felt it was Kenan saying, 'Dad, I'm on the other side, but I'm with you.' To this day, I believe that was him." He later visited a spiritual medium who confirmed that such sensations are not unusual. And she said that when someone dies suddenly, their spirit can reach out to those closest to them. That gave me comfort. The next day, Forbes traveled to Durban to identify his son's body, an experience he described as lonely and surreal. And said those 2 hours on the plane were the loneliest of my life. I had never identified anyone in a morgue before. Seeing him for the first time, he looked like he was sleeping. I kept looking for movement. Despite the pain, he was struck by the outpouring of love and generosity from friends and fans, and said the undertakers covered everything. We didn't pay a cent. Friends bought food, drinks, flowers. It was sad, but it showed how much Kenan was loved. Still, one moment shattered any lingering disbelief. Said the first time it really hit me was when we had to select a coffin. That was the moment it became real. Forbes also addressed the ongoing inquest into the death of Anele Dembe, AKA's late fiancé, who fell from a Cape Town hotel balcony in 2021. He said the process should not be about blame or rivalry, and said, "When I think of the inquest, I don't see it as us versus them. Anela was good to me when she was alive. I used to call her Father Moses to check in on them. When I look at their pictures, I just think, what a waste. They should both still be here." He expressed concern over recent remarks by former Police Minister Bheki Cele, who suggested in Parliament that new information about Anela's death had resurfaced, and said his words carry a lot of weight, and I've seen how people online are saying, "We always suspected something." His comments have reopened wounds. It's regrettable. Forbes urged the National Prosecuting Authority to respond publicly and said the NPA needs to set the record straight. "My disappointment is that they are silent. These statements make it seem like Kenan was a murderer, and that harms his legacy. Our job as a family is to protect, live, and enhance that legacy. Through pain and public scrutiny, Tony Forbes has chosen forgiveness, faith, and a focus on justice, not revenge, and said other parents have lost multiple children. I'm not unique in that sense, but I owe it to my son to live in a way that honors him, not in bitterness, but in truth. Meanwhile, the extradition of two brothers suspected of being the shooters in the February 2023 murders of aka Forbes and his friend Dibelo Mazwane on Florida Road in Durban is something that Justice and Constitutional Development Minister Mamaloko Kubai says she hopes will happen. Following their decision to drop their appeal against extradition, the two brothers are probably going to return to South Africa. Siyabonga Kezana, Demande and Malusi David Ndimane have been resisting attempts by the state to extradite them from Eswatini. Lindokuhle Tabani Mkhwanazi, Lindani Zenzele Ndimande, Sianda 18 Mieza, Mziwethemba Heavy Kwabeni, and Lindokuhle Lindo Ndimande are scheduled to stand trial in July next year. Siyabonga and Malusi Ndimande, who are incarcerated in Eswatini, have fought to avoid extradition to South Africa since February 2024 when they were charged in connection with the murders. However, the state has stressed that the extradition of two brothers will not affect the start of the trial next year in South Africa. KZN NPA spokesperson Natasha Ramkisson Kara confirmed that they have received a notice of abandonment from Eswatini authorities regarding the demanded brothers and said the Eswatini authorities will handle the matter further and communicate with the South African authorities in due course. Kubai welcomed confirmation that Siyabonga and Malusi Ndimande, who are accused of murdering Forbes and Mazwane, have withdrawn their appeal against extradition from the Kingdom of Eswatini to the Republic of South Africa. She said she received an update on Thursday, October 30th, from the National Directorate of Public Prosecutions and DPP, confirming receipt of a notice of abandonment from Eswatini authorities, signaling the withdrawal of the suspect's appeal. Kubai said the withdrawal brings the process of extraditing the brothers to South Africa closer to being finalized, and said at this stage, the Kingdom of Eswatini authorities will handle the remaining procedural matters and will communicate further developments to South African authorities in due course, and expressed appreciation to South African law enforcement and justice officials who have been working closely with their counterparts in Eswatini to advance the case to its current stage. That's a take on this one, people. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.